What's up guys, Jordan here from Rktunes. We have a bunch of stuff going on. I'm trying to make it to Hyperfest. So there's like a big drift event that a lot of people go to in Virginia. Normally driving would be like 8.5 hours away from us. With the truck and trailer, it'll probably be 9.5 is my assumption. Today is Thursday, the event starts tomorrow. Prior to last week, I thought I would be away this weekend. I didn't think I was gonna be around, even possible to go. So priority has not really been on my Drift F80. We've just been doing customer cars, like we have Instagrams. F80 here. A few other things going on, like a motor rebuild for a guy at Money Shifted his F80, bent valves, broke the aftermarket crank up, crazy things. But we're trying to get my F80 ready for Hyperfest. We're gonna put the transmission back in. We're here a few hours early today, which I don't think any of us like doing, but we're gonna put the transmission back in. They're gonna change out my rear arms to SPL arms. I haven't, I guess, told you guys anything about anything. I had clutch issues through all of Drift Week with the spec clutch. I don't know exactly what it was. I'm gonna send it back to him to get it checked out. I had a bunch of people had good success with the Clutch Masters. So I bought a Clutch Masters clutch, I bought a new master cylinder, and a new hydraulic slave cylinder, which actually gets mounted inside the transmission. I had to send Clutch Masters a plate, this plate, I guess. Yeah, me, Dana, Islam here, trying to do things early. Like this plate, which bolts inside the trans, so they can make me an adapter to fit a hydraulic throw-up bearing that does not use the OEM fork design. I don't know, a lot of people said that this drives better. It makes actually the pedal feel lighter, which I think a lot of people will be surprised by. Supposedly it works better. I don't know, we're gonna see. All I know is I did not want to rely on the pivot and stuff and the factory stuff, because I've seen, by doing a lot of things online, I saw some people had issues. One of my buddies told me that the OEM has like a spring inside of it that makes the pedal feel a little bit weird. I don't know how true that is. So I got this because it's supposed to be like the best. Also so the lines actually get mounted outside the transmission. Right here, right where the black piece is, the car actually is gonna get a clutch delay valve. I know most people remove them in these cars. You can put a slave from like a E90 that clips in, and it deletes clutch delay valve. For me, this one's the aftermarket one from Clutch Masters. It only delays one way, so when you clutch down, it releases quickly. Let out, it will delay and be softer shock on the drivetrain. Hopefully, this combo will let me shift. I always had shifting problems, like trying to shift really fast. I don't know what the issue was. Like I said, I'm sending out the clutch to get checked out, the old one, the spec clutch. I found a Clutch Masters FX1000 online with like practically no wear. Some guys didn't like how it drove.
Oh, that's you.
So that's actually in already. And then he's already doing the rear SPL arms. And the reason why is on a previous video, when I was on-off throttle, it wasn't like the car would compress and have like toe gain and compression or something, where like you compress and the arm lengths are all different in the rear. So it changes camber and toe like it's supposed to. That's like a thing from the factory. Nothing wrong. It would have massive toe changes to the point where Adam LZ, I guess, drove a car before and said, oh, car needs an alignment. It feels weird. It wasn't that it needed an alignment. It was that the rubber bushings in the rear had so much play that when you would be on throttle, what it would actually do is you'd feel the rear tires moving. The steering wheel would move a little bit for whatever bushing was softer and more beat up. And the actual rear alignment would change, driving the car a different direction. In drift, I don't know. I'm not like good enough to be like, oh, it's horrible or it's great. All I know is just driving straight, you can feel it moving a lot in the rear. Similar to E36 with bad trailing arm bushings. So I got SPL kit. I'm trying to have WiseFab make me a kit to put their knuckle on the car, which would allow me to have a second brake, no more suicide brake. But for now, I just bought new SPL arms, same as I have on the Fast F80 back there. We're also gonna try to take the car outside, jack it up and power wash everything off really good, because it's really filthy back here from driving through dirt or something at some point. And it's not really a problem because I'll probably be in dirt again sooner or later, but it would be nice if there was a lot less dirt and stuff on the car to work on it. Also, once again, front suspension, I don't know if that'll ever be resolved perfectly, the whole SLR kit as I have it. So we're gonna leave it exactly how it was. I had something come loose previously after the last event, which killed my front tires. So I'm gonna be setting up the same exact way, just making sure everything's tight, put some Loctite in some things I did not have Loctite on, and then going from there. So yeah, we're gonna keep working on this car. So we got the Tie rods back on, the exact same ones I had before. They're just not angled poorly before. One of these bolts inside got loose, rotated, and then caused issues. The only thing is like the clearances are super tight on this area, but it's at like absurd angle at this height. So it's probably totally fine. I'm not that worried about it. So he's finishing up the trans, got it in. He's just taping up some wires from rubbing through. Keep working on it. I think we're good though, right guys? What do you think? I'll make it.
Definitely needs the
quick spray paint?
Yeah, rattle can paint job.
Wait, I guess I stripped this by tightening it as like a really small jam nut, which doesn't need a jam nut there on the FDF inner tie rod. So I found some random spare lift parts. So we're gonna use those instead. Lock this together. Does not look that long, right?
No, it doesn't.
But that's like the exact same length that was in there. It just has a small jam nut. But dude, there's like no play. I think it's gonna be fine.
It'll be fine.
That does not look that long. We got a Turbo E36 on the dyno. In the meantime, while they're all working and everything, we also pulled the seats out of the Fast F80 to put in the Drift F80. So this car got no seats now. I'm just really indecisive on what seats to get and use. I don't know if I should spend a bunch of money to get something really nice or get another set of NRGs. So we're doing sort of extra work to take the seats out of that car. We threw sliders on it, which I wanted to do anyway. So seats move. He's doing that. Also, super clutch. My wheels showed up from Drift HQ. All my ESRs I bought. Same ones I ran in the rear at the last event, but I did not put the fronts on ever. So we got tires coming today. We're gonna get tires, get some mounted. The rest I might try to have mounted down there. Hopefully someone has a machine. I got 12 rear tires coming, plus one set in the car. So we'll see how good they are. I got just random cheap tires to throw on. So trans is in, the rear arms are 100% done. Front suspension is 100% done. Exception of alignment, but it's, I mean, I eyeballed it relatively close in the air. Still have the hood with clutch line inside the car, get the stock seats out, throw these seats in. But we're getting there, probably another like 2 hours of work, 3 hours of work, maybe, be done. But in the meantime, I'm gonna hop on dyno, go dyno that car, tune it. Well, let's turn boost up a little bit, and then throw on an F80. Sort of do the same. F80 got fuel pump upgrade. This guy just wants to push stock motor a little bit harder. So before I can dyno make any videos of the car on the dyno, we're actually taking it back off the dyno. The car made 600 wheel horsepower, and earlier it made 550 wheel when it came in on stock motor. Everyone thinks the car's a built motor. The car's been doing like really good slipstream. Made 550 wheel horsepower, 560 wheel horsepower as it came in. Turned out it made 570. It was a hair leaner than it should be. Turned up a hair more on purpose. Made 606 stock S50, which I'm not the biggest fan of doing this with, but the car's going like super lean up top. There's some sort of fuel issue. So gonna take it back to Boost Source. They installed like the fuel pump. They actually did the whole build. And they're gonna check the hose inside the gas tank and then make sure the wiring's all good and there's nothing weird there. And go from there. It should make at least 650, 660 worth of fuel with a drop-in Walbro pump, aftermarket regulator, and the injectors I have in it. So they're gonna take a look at that and then we'll get it back on at some point. So my F80 actually ended up throwing a check engine light partially through Drift Week. It was good for the first 2,000 miles. After that, it would throw a lean code every 100 miles or so. No real effect in boost. Pretty much super common, the O-rings on the intakes get dry rotted and fall apart. So here they are, check this out. They pull them out, it's horrible. Oh my God. So they pull them out, they're dry, and what happens is you put intakes on and you touch it and wiggle it, and it like never ever seals again, super common. So we were good in the beginning. We didn't take a look at it when we did the crank hub, but since then we've stocked them, and every single car that comes in for crank hub, we take it off and change it, or any car with lean codes. It's pretty much that. We've had intakes on tons of cars with no codes, and a few we've had with codes and people think it's our intakes. It's actually super common for those O-rings to leak. So we're throwing new ones on because I want to get rid of my check engine light. Also, we threw on fresh intakes. Fresh filters, the new ones we have. And I'm gonna put oil in it. Pull seats out, put new seats in, put new master cylinder in, bleed the clutch. Spray paint my front bumper a little bit on the car to make it look a little bit better. Because after this event, it'll get really painted, but just for now, we gotta look all right. In between my car, I've been on the dyno today. This second car, F80 M3, makes 720 wheel horsepower. Here's a quick dyno pull just so you guys can see where it's at. So the car made 723 wheel horsepower, 630 wheel torque. In between this guy, we're trying to bleed the clutch now. We're doing a little makeshift spray paint job. So, but either way, it's like super damaged. So this will take away. So yeah, so we're gonna touch this up a little bit, and then also this little damage here where the paint peels off every time we wash it. Just for now, it'll look nice in pictures, if I make it. We got our clutch delay valve in. So we threw a bunch of zip ties on that because we need to make a bracket or something, but for time constraints right now, it'll be under all the factory panels, so it can't really fall down. Even with probably nothing on it, it'd probably be okay. But at least it's like held up securely. He's still painting this bumper, but it's gonna look better than having black spots in photos. My front lip is hopefully still at Adam LZ's, and hopefully it's not in Duarte's car. I think it's still there. I bought new front lips and stuff, but we have to get the car repainted or fix all this damages after this event, but we're getting there, boys. We got the seats in. I'll show you the seats in 1 second. Just outside, it's a hair dark, but I'm gonna show you guys seats. We're loading up onto the trailer, and then I'm gonna head out and probably get a few hours sleep just so I have a little life left in me. Car's pretty much done. I'm not sure if this bumper looks good in this video, but it looks pretty dope here. Here's the seats real quick. I also drove the car around the block. It really needs an alignment because we did not do that yet. We'll do it when I get down there for time reasons. I'd rather make it there. So I drove around the block. Everything seemed fine. The diff seemed a little funky. I might have to mess with that. But that's it. Be sure to keep watching. Stay tuned. Next up is just me going to drive this car at Hyperfest. Hope you guys are excited to see that.